I love the Bible. It's so intricate and it's so interesting. One of the things that happens often in the Bible is a story that is familiar to the audience, one that has been written earlier in scriptures, is used again to make a new point. I imagine the listeners of scripture, before it was all written down and combined, sitting around a table, listening to someone tell the story. And this might be one of the stories they told. There was a city. It was an evil and wicked city, and God was going to destroy it. But before he destroyed the city, he sent in 2 messengers to see what was going on, to look around. Those 2 messengers enter the city and quickly realize it's not safe for them. They need a place to stay. And so those 2 messengers enter a house. They enter this house and the host is kind to them and listens to what they have to say. But while they're talking with this benevolent host, the people from the town begin to gather outside the door. Banging on it, they demand that these messengers be sent out so that they can punish them. And at this point, if you're familiar with Scripture, you might think you know what story I'm telling. Maybe it is the story of Lot, where 2 angels entered Sodom and Gomorrah, and they went to Lot's house, and they entered in there, and they called Lot to leave the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, for it would be destroyed. And the townspeople came up and demanded that the angels be sent out. But the angels, in a stroke of miraculous power, blind everybody outside so that they cannot see. If you are familiar with this story of Lot, and you heard it being told around a fireside or around a table, you'd be waiting expectantly to hear about the angels and how they saved the day. Now imagine your surprise as I tell you that this is not the story of Lot at all, but the story of Rahab. The story found several books later in the Bible, in Joshua, where the Israelites are entering into their promised land. And the city is Jericho, which is going to be destroyed. And the 2 messengers are spies sent by Joshua. And they enter into the house of Rahab, a prostitute and a foreigner, somebody who is an enemy to them. And outside, the king and the guards and the army begin to gather and demand that the spies be sent out. But instead of the spies, like the angels in the story of Lot, blinding the people and escaping themselves safely, Rahab is the one who steps up. She hides the 2 spies on her roof. She goes out and she tells the king and his army that they have gone afar off and you need to go chase them. And she then lets them out of her window, safely to return to Jerusalem. In both cases, Lot and Rahab and their families are spared because they were willing to listen to God's messengers. But Rahab, the most unexpected character, steps into the position of the angels in the story and saves the day. And this drives home a really important point to the listeners of Joshua and to us today, that people will surprise you, that the most unexpected characters in the stories that we see play out could be the ones that step up in the moment, who listen to God and who save the day. The Bible is so amazing that it can pick up on stories which have already been told and retell them and surprise the audience with a really important point. That's why I love the Bible so much.